Morning, everybody. I'd like to share with you today something that's meant a lot to me over the years, and it's taken from a verse in Exodus chapter 4. And the context is that Moses has come out of Egypt, has escaped. He's in the desert. He's been in the desert for about 40 years at this point, working for his father-in-law, and he's a shepherd. God meets with him through the burning bush in chapter 3, says that he wants to send him back to Egypt. And chapter 4 begins with, Moses answered, "What if they don't believe me or listen to me and say, 'The Lord didn't appear to you'?" And God speaks back to Moses. Then the Lord said to him, "What is in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. And that's the principle that has meant so much to me when I felt like nothing, that I felt that I didn't have a place and I couldn't do anything, I couldn't serve God. God saying to me, "Well, what's in your hand?" I think the first time and obviously it wasn't said in these terms, but I was a kid, I was in Sunday school, and my Sunday school teacher, Stephen Keithy, some of you will know him, said to us kids, "You guys can go to places, go to schools and have an influence that we adults can't have because you're kids like the other kids." And that was a breakthrough moment. That was revelation to me. I was really excited about that thought. I was about 6 or 7. And I went to school and started telling all my friends about Jesus. And my mum spent several years after that going round to their mums and getting permission for them to go to Sunday school with me. But that excited me. Yeah, as a kid, I'm not in any place of influence in any human sense, but God saw that that was a place that he could use me, and it excited me to be used by God. And I mean, we all go through lots of different ups and downs in life, and sometimes we feel like our circumstances set us aside from being used by God. Babies, I was like, having a child often means that you just can't do all the things that you're used to usually do. And yet, having a baby in your arms opens people's hearts to you, the hearts of other mums in very unique ways. Being at the gates of the school opens doors that are unique to that situation. They don't last for very long in your life, but they're important times where you can be used by God. And so that's my first challenge to you today. What circumstance are you in? What is in your hand that you might not see it as something from God, but that God can use? You might be in a place of brokenness. You might be in a hospital waiting room, but that waiting room is a place where you can meet with other people in that same situation. You might just have time on your hands. It might seem like nothing, but God can use it. But then the next thing, then the Lord said to him, "What is in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. And the Lord said, "Throw it to the ground." And, most of us, that is not enough, is it, to say, okay, this is what I've got in my hand. Okay, I'll use that to serve God, because we still feel pretty useless. We still feel not very empowered. And God says, throw it down. And then God uses that through miraculous ways. And it's God working through us that makes the difference. It's not just what we have, it's God working through us. And Moses had been in a place where he'd felt very powerful. He'd felt that he was in a position of privilege. He'd felt, that God had raised him up as a Hebrew person. To be in the Egyptian palace was amazing. And yet it was from the place of humility, when he allowed God to work through him, that Moses was able to really be used by God to release his people from slavery. And so my challenge to you today What have you got in your hand? Even if you haven't seen its potential, what is God saying that he would like to use that you've got at the moment? Access into people's hearts in any way that you have. And secondly, what would you throw that down and allow God to be great in that situation, to allow your understanding of who God is, his power to work through you, to be evident. And so God bless you today, and may God use you in powerful ways. Goodbye.